All right, we are live. That was a fun one. It was, oh shit, 6:16. All right, I'm hoping this is not looking good because I'm not showing Instagram coming up.
No, it's on Instagram.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why am I not seeing it?
Yeah, I just got the notification for Instagram.
All right.
Up at the top, it says stream this to your audience.
Try it, see what happens.
Well, while you're doing that, you'll be happy to know my war against heat pumps. I want to know what the numbers are from yesterday's power outages because we went electric, right? Against everything that I talk about, we went electric for the small ADU down the Cape.
Yep.
Power went out for 24 hours. The heat pump is completely frozen, will not function after a thawed out. It's done. Brand new heat pump.
You're so progressive, Mike, with your ADU and heat pumps.
Well, how'd the heat pump work out? There's a 1.5 baby, a baby that's 1.5 old in that ADU, and there's no heat because there's no gas. It's all electric. The heat pump's electric.
You fell for it.
I did.
You fell for it.
Yeah, this is.
But when we called the service people, they said just in that area there was almost 100 calls for service.
Oh, for the heat pumps.
Yes.
See, that's strict. Like, so I went with heat pumps up here, and we had a pretty cold couple of weeks at one point. Yep. And I was expecting it to be a problem that we wouldn't be able to, that it would just like, it couldn't keep up, but kept up great.
Did you lose power?
No.
Yeah. So allegedly, I don't know, something about when they lose power and the coils freeze up.
Huh. That's not good.
We'll find out today when the service guy comes out to look at the, we had somebody there last night, and then there's the guy from the company who installed it going there today.
You still must be under the warranty though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be a year old.
No, it's not even a year old. It's only months old.
You know, it's funny. I looked on mine. I have the A2L refrigerants.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You're progressive, Joe. Very good.
I am. So what Mike and I are talking about. So the most recent edition of the energy code. That's at the national level, though, right? That's not
actually federal. They banned the old refrigerants and it required new refrigerants.
Yes. So the new one is A2L, which is better for the environment. The only problem with it is what, Mike?
It's more flammable.
It catches on fire.
What's the old one?
Well, so when you say A2L, that's a category of refrigerants, right? So there's different names for each one. The other one was like the 410, you know, and we changed from that years back, the types of refrigerant that went into the old systems, but 410 was the standard for the most recent, and now the A2Ls have a different level of designation, the names of the refrigerants that go in there, but nice. That's been a bone of contention in the code committees because of the fact that they are slightly more combustible than the previous refrigerants. So,
what's the big deal?
I think
we don't want to bore the audience because we could really get into it.
No, but I'll just give you a quick synopsis. Is being more flammable and then sticking them in the walls in a 5-story podium structure that's all wood, right? But so if it leaks, you don't smell it like gas, so you don't get that. So that's the flammability part. I'm less worried about when you think about it, because look, we put gas lines in walls, right? We put residential gas lines in walls. Gas is flammable. The thing is, you when it leaks, you know it's leaking. Yeah. This stuff, you really don't know it's leaking.
And it's typically in steel pipes.
True, for the most part. Even Wadflex has Armor Flex, which is the protected gas pipe. Counter-Strike, which is the protected.
I imagine this stuff is limited with how much gas, because it's a closed system.
It is limited to the amount of pounds that you can have in the system.
Whereas, like, if you've got gas, it's just going to keep ripping. Good morning. Joe says, he says, let's go. He must be at the gym. All right. We've got 15 people on YouTube, which is nice. But so let's get into it. I have to run and grab one thing. Do you guys know the 3 stories we're covering?
For the most part, I can't switch out and look at them, but so we have.
Can you just tell people which 3 they are, and I will be back in a second?
Yeah, so the third one I'm still not quite sure about. I'm not sure if I was looking at an ad or if I was looking at what the heck was going on there.
The website about the real estate abatement?
Yeah, but we can get to that. So first is Miami, another condo building, significant violations. This in the wake of, the issue that was, how many years ago was the collapse down there now? God, we're probably talking 5 years ago, Surfside condominiums. So there's a condominium complex down there that has some significant $300,000 worth of fire code violations, doors, fire alarm, standpipe, all that stuff. And they had their assessments, and the management company fled with their money. Then we have the LA fires and the cleaning up of the report, the action report, things to learn. We had that. And then the last one Joe threw in there was a company that is handling tax abatements. They don't just do tax abatements. I looked. There was other things there that they do, but they handle filing of tax abatements for people, which is being on the municipal side. I'll have some comments about how that's actually probably handy, because if you don't know what you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, that one's interesting. So hi, Tracy, as well on YouTube. Because recently there's been some criticism in Boston because there was a big ticket house in Beacon Hill that sold, and they were being taxed at like like a fraction. They were being taxed at like 2 million, and it sold for like 20 something million or whatever. And Boston has always they never tax you at full market on the residential side, at least from what I've seen. It seems like there's I'm not sure where they're getting their numbers from. Yep. So it's always been under, but I think the criticism is the higher homes end up saving way more when they're getting undercharged. So we have a weird thing in Boston, right, where like the property owners are getting undercharged, and the residential folks are getting undercharged, and the commercial folks are getting kind of almost overcharged.
So we might as well just keep going, and I'll give you a quick insight into. So first of all, the assessors isn't 100% correct all the time with the information that they're giving and they're putting out, or they're utilizing for assessment. So the other thing is what you just talked about there, Joe, and I'm not sure if Boston has to be the same because it's a state program. Is there's something called economic obsolescence. I traded with an assessor from a town one time and taught him about infectious invalidity. I shared that with him, and then he shared economic obsolescence. So when you have these really large condominiums and really expensive, 15 million, 20 million, those people negotiate their tax rate. They're not taxed the same way. And it's called economic obsolescence. Yes.
For residential?
Yes, because it has to do with the comparable sales and whatnot. So for instance, I worked in a town that has many, many, many multi-million, very large, into the $1 million homes, right? And if you look at the tax rate and you look at what those people pay for taxes, they're still paying a ton of taxes, more than most people, but they're not paying what the house is actually going to be assessed at.
We got to look this up.
How often do they negotiate this? Annually?
Mike's frozen.
I froze there. I don't know why.
So he's saying, Reggie's asking, do you do it annually, or what's
well, then does it just, once you negotiate, it just increases?
Well, anytime there's an assessment, what are assessments? So however but it stays the same. You keep getting the negotiated rate, whatever that is. It may go up because of the increases in taxes, but you're still not going to be paying what most citizens are paying for their property tax.
That's crazy. What is the name
But
of
it's
that
based
term
off of
again?
the comps, like the comps in the neighborhood. Is that
And the theory is that there's not enough comps of that value. So economic obsolescence.
Why do I feel like you've talked about this before?
I probably have. I used to talk about it when I did that zoning presentation, and people
Maybe
used,
that's where I heard it. I feel like
I
you
used to
brought it
show
up on
all
the
of
show
the
before.
large structures around the area. And,
So what's the threshold, Mike? Like, when do you kick into, like, if you have
I don't
a
know.
house that's worth $2 million, like, it's probably not.
I think it depends on who you are.
Okay.
Probably.
That's crazy.
But if you can go, all the assessors information is public info, right? So you can go and you can see what people are being assessed at and what the tax bill is.
I think we should be talking about this. I think we're going to do a show on this, and let's blow
I'll
the
bring a
top off
retired
this thing.
assessor on to let us behind the curtain.
Oh yeah, that sounds electric.
I'm
You
not
got
talking about electric
you got a CPA the next week. We'll bring in who talks about tax policy.
Yeah.
All right. So, but staying with it. So it started with that website you're freezing, Mike. That they will basically do your abatement for you. You put in your address. This website will do an abatement. Steph says, "Love that assessor's website. Feels like looking behind the curtain." Yeah, it is kind of fun to know who owns the property. If people haven't gone on to their local assessor's website, there's a lot of information there.
It's also like when we're doing accessibility, right? We got to go to the assessor's website and pull the data off there at what the municipality has assessed.
Yeah, so. But it's wild to see like who the owner is, what their address, if they live out of state, all that kind of stuff. Elizabeth said someone might want to be asking for voice changing technology. People are going to be not too happy if we expose people underpaying taxes.
Right,
but
I'm going to switch
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So
all right.
Give me a moment.
Reggie and I will keep talking. So Reg, this website, you put in your address and it'll basically file an abatement for you automatically. It also looks at how much you pay for insurance, a whole host of other things. But where I was thinking it is with the major cities having all their real estate tax problems where they're getting all these abatements, if this makes it even easier, because it says it does commercial as well. If everybody starts filing, is this just become like it starts snowballing on taxes in downtown commercial places?
So it's only certain states right now, right? Like it's not.
It's
not everywhere.
You know what?
But I'm on this website and I can't figure out where I saw that part. I think it's like Florida, Texas. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yep. So here's what it says: save money on property taxes. Enter your email address. I mean your property address.
I just put a Boston address in. It doesn't work.
Okay. And insurance, bill reduction, and so they're saying a success rate of 88%, annual savings $775. But this could just, magnify the problem that cities are having with real estate taxes to begin with. And I think like I think the debate is over when it comes to are people going back to the office? It's not. Office is dead. I know there's been this conversation, it's going to come back, this and that. It's not coming back. It's dead. And we're seeing like BP, Boston Properties, is taking some office park and they're going to convert it into residential. They're going to tear it all down, build like retail and apartments and all that stuff. They've done it somewhere else. Lupoli companies, the Sal's Pizza folks, they're doing that. They took an office park, I forget what town it was in, tearing the whole thing down. They're not doing that because they think it's just cyclical and the office stuff is coming back. It's over.
Right.
And if these major cities start getting more and more tax abatements, I'm not saying this is going to be the thing that does it, but this is just a sign that it's going to be easier to do. And from what you're saying, Mike, it seems like it's a hard process. If they make it easy, why don't throw it in? What do you got to lose?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's abatement is not too difficult, right? And then there's a state board that handles so you have your locality, and then you have a state board that handles any appeals of the local decision. So, I mean, it's again, there's so much. It's like lottery tickets that you don't know that you won on. It's just money sitting there that probably is available, and people don't, because of the process, they don't go after it. They don't look at it. People don't even know, right? So This is also income that towns, have in the coffers that, they rely on every year, and it's going to be, if it's not rightly so, or if it's not applied appropriately, some of that money's going to disappear.
Yeah. Steph says, listen, Joe, if low-rise jeans are coming back, so is the office. Yes.
Low-rise jeans are back.
Yes. And I mean,
really?
Yes. And then, like, of course, you see the absurd stuff on social media where they're like the whale's tail's back. And then, and then I find out, right, how did this fucking start? Thanks, Steph. Coach Holland, good morning.
Hat, good morning.
Then I see that, or I discover, like, this just shows how naive guys are. When girls would do the whale's tail thing, that was on purpose. I just thought it was like they had such low jeans that would like happen.
Like the guy with his underwear showing that shouldn't be showing.
Yeah, like the plumber or whatever is not doing.
Was this on the docket today to talk about?
It's not.
It should be.
Steph brought it up. Yeah.
Stop blaming Steph. Don't blame Steph.
And I was like, what? I was like, I was so naive. Who knew?
Yeah.
But Steph, we were in Mike and I at least were in our prime when they were in style the first time. So
yeah.
All right. So yeah, it goes to, I think the real estate taxes are going to continue to be major problems in big cities. And population decline. Did you see CNN showing like where recently they did a thing on all the states that they're moving to and all they're moving out of? Massachusetts was on that list. And it was a big number. I think Pioneer said, 122,000 or 125,000 people less since 2020 or 2022. That's a lot.
And budgets are projected out based on what, property tax is a big part of that budget, obviously. And property taxes and budgets are projected out based on the amount of taxes coming in. So where is this money going to come from now? Right? The rainy day funds are going to start disappearing, which is the backup for the bills, the backup for payments. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then permits, right? Permits slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's another thing.
Like everything is going against, especially big cities. But I don't know if you've heard, there's been recent talk where a number of states, they're worried about the pension system.
Right.
And being able to fund it. And, they're saying it's going to happen in some states that they're not going to have the money. And pretty soon they're not going to have the money. And they're saying, well, the states are going to try and federalize it and make the feds pick up the tab. And they were saying, depending on who gets in office the next time, it could go one way or the other. But there's a lot of serious talk around the federal government having to pick up these state pensions.
Federalize. We might not even have Social Security in a number of years, for crying out loud. We're going to federalize the pensions now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're going to have to convert all these office buildings into nursing homes.
Joe, the states that own well is actually servicing California, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, New York, Texas, and Washington right now.
Those are the ones that are in danger of it?
No, those are the ones that Own Well offers service to.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's funny. It sounds a lot like Orwell. And I'm like, this whole
Big
thing
is George Orwell. Yeah.
Yep. So before we move to the next topic, thanks to Citywide, who always supports us in everything we do, whether it's this rundown or the mass construction show. So thanks to Pete and all the guys over there. So if you need a general contractor, subcontractor, they do a lot of self-perform stuff. Check out their millwork production. They're producing cabinets and millwork for many projects around the city. So check out Citywide. We appreciate them. The meetup. So for our regulars that are on, we're probably looking to do March 26th. So if you wouldn't mind jumping in the comments and let me know if you can do that. We are looking at the Mighty Squirrel in Waltham. We'll do 5 to 8. Also, people watching this after, I lost the sweatshirt list. Mm-hmm. So I had the list of people and I ordered the sweatshirt. So I have the sweatshirt. So when we do the meetup and you come there, I'm hoping to give you your sweatshirt. But I lost the list. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. When you come there, we'll get you a sweatshirt. But please let me know if you can
need to order more.
26th. You think we need to order more?
Yeah, I think we need to order more.
I've got 40 of them.
Oh, we need 50. We need 52 of them.
All right.
What do you have up your sleeve over there, Mike?
Nothing. I just have people, as I'm going out teaching classes, people are like, where can I get one of those sweatshirts?
Only if they watch. Are they listeners?
No, not necessarily. They may be now.
Yeah, get them on there.
DSL test prep also involves 10 minutes of podcast reviews. So.
That's all right. That's fine. Coach Holland says he's in. Great.
Coach Holland, excellent. Oh, Coach Holland's going to like what we start to talk about property management.
Sounds good. Oh, and Josue liked the last mass construction show on real estate. Steph's in on the 26th. Yeah, for people that are interested in all the stuff that we talk about, go to the mass construction. So listen to what I called the housing megasode. And we cover all things housing with the Pioneer Institute. And that was a great show. So March 26th, I lost the hoodie list. We're going to do a live show. We're going to give everybody the hoodies. We'll have some food. We'll have some drinks and generally have fun. So please message me if you are in. I need to give them a rough head count, the minimum for the room. And I'd like to know if I need more than the minimum, but let us know. All right. This one, I think, is just going to take the rest of our time. North Miami condo. They had these fire safety issues that were reported. It was decades. No, it says for more than a decade. There's a lawsuit because they had, over a decade ago, fire code violations. They never resolved. There was a settlement agreement in 2023. It's 2026 now. They still haven't fixed them. There was a inspection on February 4th. Still not done. Elizabeth's going to make it work. Great. Thanks, Liz. There's broken doors, issues with fire sprinklers, standpipe, a bunch of door issues. The property manager may have stolen a bunch of money. He definitely,
isn't he?
He has been. There's a lot of after the news had reported allegations of financial mismanagement at 3 Horizons East. That's what we're talking about. Since that reporting, Curtis has been arrested 3 times based on accusations of theft in 3 different communities. So this guy's stealing condo association money.
He's a good guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's just getting his life together.
And then when they got rid of him because he got arrested, they his stepfather took over the management of the property, his 86-year-old stepfather. And then what's the last highlight? I had something. So, and the condo association is now blaming each other because they're saying, no, we're paying dues, we're not paying dues. And it seems like maybe some of the condo association board members were in bed with the guy that got arrested. So
you don't say, Joe.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
I've got a lot more to say on this topic, but what was your take after looking at this?
Go ahead, Reg. You want to start?
I mean, I think I've said before, I own a condo, and I mean, I personally just feel like there's always a little bit of that like scheming going on, right? But that's a lot of money to have spent, right? And it looked like some of these people may have put their life savings into this place, and you know, they might have to move. They may need to move out of there. They may need to vacate. It's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, it goes condo boards, and I'm glad Pat's on here because he's had some experience in the past with difficult condo boards, but not to say that it was, you know, completely the condo board's fault, but, you know, you got to look at who's on the condo board and what's going on in the background, because now their assessment money, right, is $300,000 in fines. The building could be deemed unsafe and dangerous because of the amount of violations. And that means usually when a building is unsafe and dangerous, people can't live there anymore. I feel for them that they lost, the money, but at the same time, they need to figure out what the hell is going on. Like, how do we get this?
Sometimes it's just not super transparent. Like, I feel like, you know, go to the condo meeting, where are the bids? Like, who, you know, you have the people on the board, but when you start asking questions, at least where I have my condo, it's kind of like, it's always the same contractors. It's always, you start to dig in, ask questions, and everyone's kind of like looking at you funny.
I'm going to take the other side of this. If the three of us, Steph and Chris McWhite and Coach Holland and everybody, we bought a building together and something goes wrong and there's a violation of the lawsuit, they're coming for me. I'm part owner.
Right.
If you live in a condo association, you are part owner of that building. And if you're a building owner and something's wrong with it, it's your problem. All these people that think that they can buy a condo and then be hands off, that's not the way it works. You are a part owner of that building. You're responsible. Like I get it. And
I'm not saying you're not responsible, right? Like I'm not saying you're not. Just sometimes I think you don't have as much say.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the way it's like set up.
Pat just said they have the fiduciary responsibility, so you can't look the other way. I will never, like, it wasn't ownership, but I grew up in the projects, living with all these people in one building, right? I cannot imagine, and people do it every day, obviously. They live in apartment buildings. Like, I can't imagine owning something where you don't have complete control over, where you live, right? The outside, the cleanliness, like, you're dependent on other people to make sure your investment is maintained. So yeah, you do have a responsibility.
And you have to get everybody to agree, right?
I know. So here's the funny thing. Working in certain towns, right? There's a condo, there's an ownership responsibility for permits, right? So you have a 4-unit condo, you have to get approval to do a kitchen sometimes or do a door replacement from the other condo. They can say no, we don't want them. We don't want her. We don't want them to do that improvement. It would happen in kitchens and stuff. When people had gotten kitchens, people would say no. And then the other condo owner had said no, would come in 6 months later and ask for a permit to do their kitchen and can't believe that the neighbor said no. You know what I mean? Like, so the dysfunctionality of condominiums, it's a difficult ask when you have now 150 condo owners, right? Or 100 condo owners, or even 50 condo owners. And you have a board that's supposed to be representing them. So I get it, but there's violations. Somebody's got to step up so that people have a place to live, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. It's a crap system.
Yeah.
Right. But I just want to bring it up because everybody should be well aware if they're going into a condo association, everybody thinks like, oh, well, it's the property manager's problem. Right? No, it's your problem. You're the owner. Guess what? You hired the property manager. Well, I didn't know who it was. Well, you do your little election, and those elections have consequences, as everybody likes to say. And now there's shit management. And this thing is worse. This thing is like the WWE. It's friggin' great. So they go in, they start interviewing the attorney, Zolberg. They're aware at the moment that the building doesn't have money. Right? And then she says, you have some people not paying maintenance, so it's hard for the association to run, this attorney says. While a resident shouted, not true, not true. And then it says, so the lawyer says, so, okay, they claim it's not true. The board says it's true, Zolberg responded. They have a $300,000 water bill.
Right.
Unpaid. And like, it's nuts. There's people.
But if these people are paying their HOAs. Maybe. But they want, like, I don't know. So say I'm paying my HOAs every single month. And this property management company is just not paying the bills and essentially stealing
the money for sure.
Right? Like, so it's so messed up.
But you as the owner has to sue the property management company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they're going to have to come up with the money in the meantime and then try to recoup the money from the lawsuit, right? But if that guy files bankruptcy and he's in jail.
He's gone. He's a goner. His stepfather's no better.
Yeah. No, that's a tough ask now where the money was stolen. But at the same time, it's not doesn't go away because of the inability. People are living in a building.
$300,000 just in water. That has nothing to do with any of the safety violations.
They're lucky they'll get water if the sprinklers go off, for God's sakes, at this point.
I don't think those heads are going to work anyway.
But here's the thing. So and this is why condo associations are so bad, because you have a group of people. Now they all have to agree on who we're going to hire. Who do you think's getting hired? The cheapest friggin' person out there, because none of them want to pay a high HOA fee, right? Condo fee,
or the one that's in bed with the friggin' property management.
Yep. Yeah. So, they're either connected, because it seems like there's some accusations of the condo board might have been in bed with the property manager, and that's probably why they said, oh, well, let's keep this covered up. You got arrested, we'll hire your stepdad who will keep everything swept under the rug. But so that's the problem. You have all these people that are going to vote for who should be the property manager. They know nothing about this, so they just hire the cheapest person. The cheapest person's a fucking criminal, steals all the money, and then they're like, oh, well, what do we have to do? We couldn't do anything about it. We didn't know what was going on. Your building, you own it. Like, you shouldn't have hired a convict,
Right.
And so it's a mess. It's funny, that reminded me of New Orleans. Remember how they had the third-party inspectors, and then they got in trouble and the guy got arrested, and like they hired his brother or something like that.
Yeah.
It was very
So let me tell you something else that happens that people don't realize. So there's two ways here: in a landlord situation or then in a condo board situation. And what they do is they end up weaponizing the town or the fire department. So in a landlord situation, we've seen it where, the landlord themselves will self-report on a building that's not been, kept up, and will actually, or will have somebody complain, or will
landlord or property manager.
So let's start with the landlord. Even in landlord situations, 4 unit, 5 unit, 6 unit, they have long-term tenants that they just can't get rid of. In order to get rid of them, Easiest way. Get the violation squared away, vacate the building, right? Condo boards. I have a building I can give you an example of. It was like a 12-unit condo. The condo people on the board were in bed with the developer. There was an unsafe situation where actually one of the vertical pieces of steel snapped off the base, right? And this is in a location where the water table is dropping and most of the buildings are on piles. Condo board was in bed with the developer and had the unsafe and so here the building department and the fire department come in, unsafe and dangerous, vacate the building because structurally the building was unsafe. And now there was the ploy to say the building would never be occupied again. And the developer started offering the other tenants money, because they were fighting with their insurance companies and whatnot. So what they did was they ended up buying up most of the units. They were the majority owners. And then all of a sudden, nobody was allowed to move back in. And they developed the building 2 or 3 years later after the building was vacated. Right?
Genius. Yeah.
But they used the violations and they used the, the insurance process to get through it. So,
yeah. And then the other
great comments on
YouTube's wild.
Yeah.
Like that every week YouTube is wild. We're getting called unks, where they definitely like our Boston accents.
They don't like our Boston sports.
We love you. We love you, YouTube. Stereotypes are fun. Yes. Yep. You got the right group here if you want some Boston accents. So but now even better, the politicians are chiming in.
Of course they are.
My concern is that if this organization that manages this property is getting arrested and having charges filed against them at multiple other locations, Burns said, he's the politician, why cannot we as a city help protect our residents?
Then help them fix the violations. That's how you're protecting them. By protecting them and saying don't throw them out, is also putting them in harm's way. If they don't have a sprinkler system that's functioning properly and a standpipe that's functioning properly, right? You can love somebody to death. You can say, oh, keep them in that building. Make sure that they don't get kicked out. With the sprinkler and a fire alarm that you don't know if it's going to function, right? If there's an emergency.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he was implying that they were going to that they should step in some way and help resolve this. I'd be like, I'm not like.
What are they going to do? Wipe away the bill?
I don't know, but I feel the same way about when they talk about wiping out student debt. So myself included, a lot of people worked jobs to pay while they were in school to pay for their school. So somebody busts their butt, does everything right, and the person who, had Uber Eats and hung out and racked up hundreds of thousands of dollars debt gets theirs wiped away. So I live in a condo and I pay a high condo fee every month, and my tax money should go to fix this? Absolutely not.
How many others are going to come out of the woodwork? And then where do you draw the line with where do you step in and where do you not step in, right?
Yeah. And I realize I'm sounding really cold on this whole thing, but you're the owner, right? Nobody cries for the owners of companies, right?
But it is hard. I know it is hard. I feel like you don't have as much say as you think you do. And I think that's the point, Joe, right? Like you are an owner, but if I'm paying every month, I don't know if I would be considered negligent. You don't have a lot to say.
Yeah, I mean, you are. So let me give you this example. This is a true life example that's taking place right now. It was contacted. There's a condo association. It's probably 180, 200 units in a building, brick building. The exterior envelope is falling off the building. It's slowly separating. You can't see it from the outside, but they did the right thing and had an assessment done. And it's falling off. The facade of this building, 6-7 stories for 100 feet this way, 60 feet, 100 feet. It's a big building. The facade is falling off this building. It was determined by engineers it was falling off. The condo board, through the condo association, the people who voted to repair it by installing permanent sidewalk. This is not New York, right? They're going to rent scaffold and leave it in place.
So that's the solution?
That's the solution because of the amount of money and the assessment that it would take to to fix the envelope of the building. So the solution was to put the money into scaffold and leave the scaffold in place as a permanent solution.
The city didn't accept that, did they?
Well, it hasn't. The city doesn't know about it yet.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, the city doesn't know about it yet. So.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, because it's great to say, well, I'm only one of whatever. But so if I own a building and I have a property manager and there's a violation on my building, they write me a violation. It's my problem. If there's two of us that own it, and we have an LLC, they're going to write it to our LLC. Right. And if you're a condo member, it's going to even, like, I get that, like, in practice, it's a little more challenging, but that's what you sign up for when you buy a condo. Right? You sign up that you're going to be partial owner of this building. And in the same way, if they're not maintaining the thing, and next thing you know, you got to do $600,000 in upgrades, like, I mean, you see some of the ones in downtown Boston, they get crazy assessments.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well, years ago you had Harbor Towers, which was $100,000. I mean, they were going in though, and they were putting closets in the ventilation shafts that were open. They were, oh, look, open space behind the wall, and they were putting closets in the shafts, but the windows were failing in there and everything, and the standpipe was failing there. That was significant for those two buildings there.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to get giant assessments. So just like pretty much buyer beware when it comes to condos. Yeah. All these things we're talking about, like permitting issues, maintenance issues, going with a cheap person, like they're all real. Never mind the WWE aspect of it where people are fighting with each other. I mean, Mike and I can probably tell you plenty of stories of condo associations.
And I'm dying to buy a condo in Florida.
Yeah. You know what the best condo is? A two-family that's made into a condo, and the two tenants don't like each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And you know what's great is the ones I've seen ones where, if you want to do work in your unit, you have to get permission. Yeah. That was the way that it was structured. That's what you were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
But I had one where it didn't say anything about the outside. And the person was a property owner because they owned a condo in there. So they went down and got a permit and started building a shed in the yard. And the other condo people are flipping out, saying they want a violation. I'm like, there's no violation to be written. The right. person's a property owner and they're building a shed. But we didn't give them permission. I'm like, not my problem. Like, that's a
forced condo doc.
Yeah, that's a legal contract. That's the other thing that's we should talk about, right? Like condo docs, people always want the building department to enforce, say, oh, they can't do this. The condo docs, that has nothing to do with the building department. That's you guys had a legal agreement together, go to court.
So there's case law out there regarding ownership and what's the building inspector or the building department's responsibility. And essentially they have the duty to inquire but not make final determination. They inquire, utilize, we have papers that say under the pains and penalty of perjury, or applications that say under the pains and penalties of perjury. We're not doing background checks on every single person that comes in to determine, what section of the earth that you own in that condo association. It's just not feasible with the amount of permits that come in to do that depth of a search. So we don't enforce condo docs. We ask and we inquire and we ask the other condo association or to get a letter from the condo association or an approval. But we're not doing a forensic search as to, what piece of your land that you own.
Yeah. I mean, but that one in the shed was interesting because the condo docs didn't address it.
It's interesting because that's the actual case at the Mass State Supreme Judicial Court regarding a shed and steps down to a beach that somebody had installed. And the other condo owners sued and said he doesn't have the right to do that or she doesn't have the right to do that, when in fact they did have the right to do it because it was on their piece of land that was deemed, deeded to them, where they separate the different areas where you have your space on the land for furniture or for storage or whatever it might be.
Huh. And it was a condo?
It was a condo. Yeah, on the
And they
beach.
divvied up the land like that?
So you have, common space, and then you have dedicated use, right? Spaces of dedicated use. So first you're an owner, everybody owns the land.
Yeah.
And then beyond the building department's determination, it's, do you have the right to build on that? And what it came down to was, so there's two cases. There's one in Belmont and one in Beverly, I believe. And it said, this person had the ability to go ahead and utilize that land. One, because they're an owner of the building, and two, because they had, exclusive use. That's what it's called, exclusive use area. So when you deed out, some people have like a roof deck. If you have a roof deck from the top unit, that's exclusive use. Even though it's on the building, it's exclusive use for that top unit owner, even though it's part of the building. Backyards, you see sometimes exclusive use where I can put my, for these people in Beverly, your wakeboard and your whatever it might be, that's your exclusive use area. So that's what it come down to, was that they had the ability to do it.
Yeah, it's funny going back to the property tax things. I forget if we discussed it here. And it made me think of this when you're talking steps to the beach or like a dock or something like that. There was a town that started flying drones on a lake. Did we talk about that?
No, to see who's putting docks in and stuff.
Who has docks, because they're taxing their docks.
Lake access, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
interesting.
And then this one, did you guys see that when I posted it this
I did.
week?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just love this guy. I was like, that takes a lot of effort to go, but more people need to say it. And it's crazy that nobody's still in jail. Other thing, that kind of quick one, Ed Flynn is now bringing up inclusionary zoning, saying we need to roll it back. So it's just more and more movement happening with trying to just be like, we need to produce houses, right? We can't have 1 in 5 be money losers. We'll never get anywhere. But all right, we are over. People that are hanging till the end here, please let me know if you're interested in heading to the meetup. Send me a DM on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and we'll make it happen.
Mike, don't get off.
Oh yeah,
get off. You gotta. Perfect. So. Stream.